Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We're here in the middle of the investigation here. And we're trying to get Edward to tell us about what he learned from 6 years ago. So right now we have to present him with this profile, Iris' twin sister, and see what we can find out about her. Hey Edgeworth, did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think. A jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. I had a feeling you'd say that. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edgeworth. Please. Dahlia Hawthorne. It was my first court case 6 years ago. I was a greenhorn, and due to my inexperience, the defendant died. You're talking about Terry Falls, right? You know about that case? You're not the only one who noticed something about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. I checked one of Mia's old files from 6 years ago. Yes, Dahlia was a key witness in that case. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel with $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler. And 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Her sister? Well, her stepsister, actually. They weren't blood-related. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. Oh. And this is when she entered my life. A woman who tried to kill me. So after Terry Falls died, what happened to Dahlia? Did you check on that out? Does it really matter? Like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. What? Well, her metabolic processes are a matter of interest only to historians, so to speak. Huh? What do you mean by Dahlia Hawthorne is dead, Edgeworth? Right, I must confess that in reading her file, I came to know of the murder case you were involved in during your college years. Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty. Thanks to her persistence of Mia Fey. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! At the time, Dahlia, it's like she was possessed by a demon or something. it's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed last month. Whoa, that's pretty recent. Executed? I'm sure that's a bit of a shock for you, right? And for more reasons than one. But you understand now? She can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and when someone is dead, there is no way to revive them. There is no way to revive the dead? I wonder. It seems you're not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. And what is that? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fay, a spirit medium from a branch family of the Trine channeling technique. Did you say Trine channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh yes, I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? I was involved in another nightmare 17 years ago. I was caught up in the middle of a murder investigation. The police didn't have any leads. They were stumped, and that's when they called her in. She was a very famous spirit medium and the master of a channeling school. But you know what happened? As a result of her efforts, an innocent man was accused of murder. She knew her powers. They were all fraudulent. Edgeworth, go to the police records room. It's all in there. All you have to do is check for the DL6 incident case file and you'll know. Of course, how could I forget? Edgeworth was the victim in that case. Edgeworth, you'll understand someday. And then you'll see that the Trine channeling technique is real. Let's see here. Okay. How was Iris? Okay, she's 25. So Dahlia must have been 25 as well, since they're twins. Well, we can't do anything here, so let's go here. Well, I think it's time to present that Nagatama to Iris.
Take that!
The night of the crime. I think it's time you told me the truth about what you were doing that night. You said that you were in your room at Hasekura Temple the entire time. Do you still claim that to be the truth? Yes, that's where I was. Iris, I believe you're innocent. That's why I want to believe what you're telling me too, but I can't. Because this person saw you somewhere else on the night of the murder. I think it was Bikini.
Take that!
I'm talking about Sister Bikini, of course. Sister Bikini? Her testimony in court today was very clear. That night I was helping an acolyte with the training in the Ancient Temple, but, well, as you can see, my bag likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hasekura Temple. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there in the Inner Temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the Inner Temple. So I would have left at about 9:40 p.m. I think. I'm sorry, Iris. My line just doesn't suit you. Now, you say you left the main hall at 9:40 p.m., but what you say doesn't add up with this.
Take that!
You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock. Excuse me a second. My other phone went off. You said you rang... Whoops. You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen in the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who is that? Me. Mr. Wright? We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten? No, that's right. I remember. And that brings us to another puzzling fact, Iris. At 10 o'clock on the night of the murder, you were seen in two different places at the same time. This time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. So far, I managed to prove two things. First, on the night of the incident, you were at the inner temple. And second, at the exact same time, you were ringing the bell at Hazakura Temple. There was only one possible explanation for that apparent impossibility. There were two of you. On the night of the incident, you were seen in two different places at the same time. Which means there must have been two of you. I can't think of any other explanation, Iris. That's crazy. How can that be? There's only one of me. It's impossible. Impossible? I wonder. The way you're trembling certainly seems to suggest otherwise. You're seriously trying to suggest there's more than one of me? Then show me the evidence. Show me something that proves there was more than one of me. That's actually pretty easy.
Take that!
I have a firm grasp of the situation now, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps? That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. I had no idea you knew of her. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. But she's no longer... Yes, I know. Her sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you. There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? The second that you, who was here in the temple on the night of the murder, it was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne. But you just said it yourself a second ago. My sister's dead. Have you forgotten that? Have you forgotten this, Iris? This is a channeling dojo, a training ground of the Crying channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. I was in my room in the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I'd been spotted in the inner temple, I knew it was my sister, Dahlia, the other half of me who passed away last month. Just as I suspected. Iris that Sister Bikini saw in the inner temple on the night of the murder. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because my sister always does the right thing. Excuse me? And because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again. You betrayed her? What do you mean? That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way. What is she talking about? You know about it, don't you, Mr. Wright? About the fake kidnapping that took place here on Eagle Mountain 11 years ago? That was the start of it all. It was started her down that twisted path. She started to commit crime after crime, and in the end, she lost her life. It's all because of I betrayed her. How did you betray her, Iris? It was no coincidence that Eagle Mountain is where the exchange was to take place. After all, I helped plan the whole thing. What? But I got scared, so I ran away. What are you talking about? Why would you help her? Stealing $2 million from your own father? That's awful. But I promised that I'd help. And she didn't do it for the money. Huh? It was revenge on our father. Revenge? What do you mean by revenge? He was a hideous man. He threw our mother away and then sent her to hell. Her mother? You must be talking about Morgan Fay. Her mother was the eldest daughter of the main branch of the Fay family. The main family had a lot of influence in many business and political circles at the time. As the eldest daughter, my mother was said to inherit all of that as the next master. That's the reason our father married our mother in the first place, for power. But his plan backfired. Because our mother's sister took it all from her, she took over as the master of Karine. Misty Fay, Maya's mother. But before long, the credibility of the Karine tradition hit rock bottom. The new master, Mystic Misty Fay, made a terrible mistake. It was during the investigation of the DL6 incident. After that happened, our father took me and my twin sister away, leaving our mother and our home behind. He hated the place. He said it was a hick dive, and that he had no reason to stay there. And that's when you came here to Hazakoa Temple? Yes, the woman my father took as his next wife already had a daughter, Valerie. I ain't no place in this new family, you see. Oh. And I haven't seen my mother once since then. Having the master's seat stolen from her and being rejected by her own family, I've heard she's been very battered, spiritually and emotionally. I think I'm finally beginning to see how the pieces fit together. I have asked her everything I can in my capacity as a prosecutor. This incident, everything I related to it, goes back to the history of the Fay clan. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the incident in which your sister, Dolly Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student, have you heard of anything about him? Well, I did hear one thing. She said she hated his guts. I see. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. Oh, yeah, Phoenix, right. There's still much to investigate. Leave these locks to me. I'll open them up for you, I promise. Thank you. I suppose I'd better continue my investigation. There's still one giant secret left to unlock. Pearl's Cyclock. 5 of them. Whew. That was quite interesting. I think we have enough now. Okay. Mountain Bridge. Heavenly Hall. Okay. Heavenly Hall. Look at that. That really did make a fire right in front of the shack. Oh, Mr. Nick. Ha! You're too late, Nick. When you came in for one of your potatoes, we've already polished them all off. I think I've pretty much got all the evidence I need. Now I just need to find out what Pearls is hiding. Well, this is it, everyone. This is the last Cyclock challenge of the game.
Take that!
The night of the crime. What I want to know is, why are these Cyclocks in this position here? After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be at least in Nim's room, reading a book together, correct? Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. Suppose never went to Mr. Nim's room because she was too worried about something with someone else. Pearls, on the night of the murder, you went into this place, didn't you? I think it was in a temple.
Take that!
You went here, didn't you, Pearls? Looks like she still is not going to open up to me. This is where you went because you were so worried, right? Then the next question is, who or what were you so worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this. It was for Maya.
Take that!
It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Ah. You knew the training Maya was undertaking was dangerous. After all, it was the special course. I signed up for your special course. Well, my. Quite brave of you, considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame me if you become one of those you channel. Sister Bikini scared you with what she said, didn't she? And because it was you who introduced Hazuku Temple to Maya in the first place, you felt responsible, didn't you? Thinking about what could have happened missing Maya made me more and more worried. I couldn't sit still at all. That's why I decided to go and find out how she was doing in the inner temple. Then we're clear on that now that you went to the inner temple that night, Pearls. What's not clear is what happened after that. About what time was it when you headed over to the inner temple? It was probably around 9:30 when I left the main hall. I heard the real training was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so we didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. until after 10? How did you know what time it was? Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. She heard the lights out bell? The Hazard Temple's bell pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I didn't want to miss it. That would be terrible. She was trying to hear that bell? Tell me, Pearls, why were you so worried about hearing that bell? Huh? Oh, I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? I presume you recognize these pieces of paper? Ah! Where did you... In the incinerator at the inner temple. Pearls, you were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. These instructions that were found in the incinerator. I believe they were written for you, Pearls. For me? No. As you can see, a large portion of it has been burnt. But the last section is still fairly legible. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the author of the note and the purpose for writing it. Whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? Don't overthink it, Phoenix. It's pretty obvious who Pearls was supposed to channel. The person you were trying to channel that night, Pearls, was... obviously Dahlia Hawthorne.
Take that!
It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Oh. It's just as I suspected. It wasn't Iris whose sister met at the inner temple that night. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you know anything about her, Pearls? Do you know what kind of woman Dahlia Hawthorne was? No. I've never heard of anyone by that name before reading those instructions. I thought so. Pearls doesn't have a clue. She doesn't know that Dahlia Hawthorne and that Dahlia is her sister. Well, half-sister. That's, pretty accurate. About the instructions in the letter I found, Pearls. Who wrote them? Whoever it is who asked you to channel the spirit of someone you never heard of. You must have quite a lot of respect for them. After all, you followed their instructions without question. So here's my next question. Who wrote this set of instructions for you to follow? That could only have been Morgan Fay.
Take that!
Her mother. Pearls, I have to wonder about something. You didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? Badum? What does that mean? What does badump mean? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you. That's why. How did you... I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Whoa. Alright, Pearls. It's time you started telling me the truth. Mr. Nick, I... Why is she holding back from me? I don't like this. Don't underestimate me just because I'm a child. Huh? If you're trying to say follow these instructions, I'd like to see some proof. What? Because I don't think you have any. Just saying any rather than admit to carrying out those instructions. I guess I'll have to produce some more evidence then. One more thing should do it. Alright, Pearls. We both know someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right, there's no evidence that proves it was you. I knew it. However, I do know that whoever did it was a child. Huh? How do you know that? It couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. A simple mistake? What do you mean by that? I'm sure you thought you were carefully following the instructions you'd been given. But you misunderstood some of the words, and this is the evidence that proves it. Has to be this.
Take that!
It was you who spotted gravy on the singing scroll, wasn't it? Ah. What? Why would I do something like that? Like, do you remember what was written in that letter? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast, among others, right? How do you know that? Remember the conversation you had with Mr. Nim on the night of the murder? Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Haha. Well then, would you like to practice some reading with me? Miss Elise, so for example, how do you read this? It says, gravely. That's kind of a tough word. Sure, Mr. Nim taught you how to read gravely and roast. But what she didn't teach you is what they meant. Gravely sounded like gravy to me, and the only roast I could think of was the food. And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the good picture of the master in gravy from the night's pot roast. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. I guess I really did get the wrong idea. Just a tiny bit. I really am useless. I couldn't even burn the letter properly as my mother had asked of me. Such a simple thing, I couldn't even do it right. Alright, we did it. The night of the crime. After dinner that night, I did go to the inner temple with a pot full of the leftover gravy. The gravy? I saw the picture on the hanging scroll near the sacred cavern. I was sure it was the master of crying, like it said in the letter. I see. And then? Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. So I went to the inner temple guest area. The guest area? Yes, I thought I could wait there until the training was over. Why didn't you just go to the training hall? Because Mr. Maya's main training already started, and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then, Rose, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it. Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? I fell asleep waiting for Iris too. It happens. Anyway, then you found yourself trapped in the inner temple? Yes, when I woke up, it was morning. I tried not to cry, but Dusky Boot wasn't there anymore, and there was no one in the training hall. I thought everyone had left me because I overslept. I threw the letter into the incinerator, then I heated up the leftover gravy, and I let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll when you... Wait. And let off some steam by chucking the gravy on the scroll when you cried? It must have been pretty scary for you, Pearl. I know what it's like. Nick used to leave me behind when I fell asleep at school, too. No one creates something so trivial with an experience, Larry. Lost powers. It was written right out in my mother's letter. It said, as soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. I was on my way over to the inner temple when I heard the bell ring. So you channeled Dahlia's hallowed spirit? No. I tried, but I couldn't do it. You couldn't do it? I've never failed to challenge someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried, and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it. Don't let me get you down, Pearl. It'll all work out. If you want, I'll come flying through the sky for you. Whoosh, just like that. So she never managed to challenge the spirit. Is that why you think your spiritual powers are gone? Yes, I don't know what to do. Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel your spirit? I suppose it's one other possibility. It's not very likely, though. Can you please tell me what it is, anyway? It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. Someone else? What do you mean? Well, there's only one of each spirit, right? Yep, it's like dating a girl, Nick. You can't see a hot chick if she's already taken. And that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled her spirit before Pearl skirt. Someone else channeled the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a failure. I couldn't even grant my mother's final wish. Her final wish? Yes, this letter. This is my last wish, she said. So make sure you follow the instructions carefully. This letter. I definitely need to find out more about it. Morgan's letter. My mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary. Yeah, I know, Pearls. I visit her every month. And last month, she told me the time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I had a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it and do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now, listen carefully, and I'll tell you where the letter's hidden. My mother's always nice to me. I love her very much. Yeah, moms won't do anything for the kids, right? She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick? I guess so, yeah. There was a picture with her letter too. A picture? I miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Usually, a picture is enough to channel someone's spirit, but this time... Pretty weird, huh? Like Larry knows anything about this stuff. There's something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before. Not sure, it's pretty strange. Someone had opened it already? George's letter updating the court record. Orders from Morgan Fay. Opened once before. Thanks, Pearls. You really helped me out. You're welcome. My mother is watching over us. So I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright. Look at that innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Ha! Finally figured it out, have you, Trite? You've finally realized how terrible of a crime being painfully oblivious is. Godot! An entrance to the sacred cavern looks like a freaking puzzle workshop. I guess he's talking about Iris and the lock-picking effort. But it's all a waste of time. Why do you say that? Because Maya Fey isn't coming back. What? You don't know what you're talking about. How can you say something like that? It was your job to protect her, Trite. Just like it was your job to protect Mia Fey. Two sisters caught up in the worst circumstances. I realized that, but you were the only one who was by their sides. You were the only one who could have saved them. I didn't know anything about what was going on. Ha! What did I just say, Trite? Being oblivious is a heinous crime in itself. Tomorrow, we'll settle everything in court tomorrow, once and for all. Mr. Nick, is what the man just said true? You'll be alright, Pearls. I'm sure Maya's alive. You'll see for yourself tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. I know I can trust you, Mr. Nick. My dear Pearl, you've done so well, my child, my Pearl. You know, it's better that you don't know what you've done. I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. Now, finally, after all this time, the master seat is yours. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. To be continued. Whoa. That must be intense. But I believe that brings us to the end of another video. So, let's see here. Next time we will continue with the trial portion, which consists of 3 parts. So yeah, it's going to take no less than 3 videos, maybe 4. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, everyone, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button. And next time, like I said, we will continue with a trial. So have a great rest of your day and take care.